How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and Spirit of Halloween has updated their website to feature a whole bunch of new animatronics, so I'll be taking a look at every single new one so far today. This is pretty much the rest of the lineup for this year that got released. I don't know why they didn't just release it yesterday along with the first 5 props they did. It does not make any sense to me why they waited another day. I don't get it, but whatever. I get to make another video on it, meaning more money for me, so I really don't care. But anyways, I'm still excited to be looking at this stuff today, and spoiler alert, I do not think a majority of this stuff is good. In fact, I think a majority of it sucks. So, here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people getting mad at me for hating on these props, and listen, I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys. I'm not going to tell you the opinions you want to hear from me because I just want to be honest with you guys, alright? I hope you guys understand that, so please respect my opinion. Listen, if you like the prop, that's great. More power to you. But just please remember that my opinion is my opinion, and I'm just going to try to keep it real, okay? I don't really want to lie to you guys and say I like this prop just because everyone else is enjoying the prop. So please, again, respect my and everyone else's opinions about this stuff, and I will do the same to you. But anyways, with that being said, enough rambling. Let's just jump right into the props. I'll start with my favorites and go down to my least favorites, since I feel like that's the more funny way to do it this year for sure, since a majority of them, again, I do not think are good. Anyways, let's just jump right in.
Did you know that this land is cursed? The original farmer buried his victims in this very field. They say it helped to keep his soil nice and fertilized. Would you care to see where the remains lie?
Starting off with my favorite of the year from Spirit, here is Straw Man. Now, he is just a brand new Scarecrow prop that uses servo motors, which I think is so cool. Finally getting another servo prop other than Grim. Again, I think this would have been great on Bog Zombie, but it is still cool to see Spirit using it again, of course. Now, I really like Strawman. I think he is a great Scarecrow prop. I like his one phrase we've heard, and I just think he's cool. I think he's a little bit generic for a Scarecrow, though. Unfortunately, there wasn't too much special done with his design, like I typically like to see from Scarecrows, but I think he is way better than a lot of the Scarecrow Spirit Halloween has had, especially last year with, I forget the name of it, but the laughing one, that one sucked. But I'm going to be honest, I do like this one a lot. It is probably going to end up being my favorite from Spirit for the year, not my favorite prop for the year. I still think Spirit definitely lost in terms of their lineup. This is going to be a disaster by the time we get to the end. But anyways, we're starting off with my favorite one. I don't really have too much negative to say, again, other than that he's a bit bland. But I still think his face is very cool as well. I love the detailing there. That's what they got right on this prop. I don't think it looks all too creepy, but it looks very realistic as a Scarecrow in like real life, how real life Scarecrows look, which is something we don't see too often. They pretty much have a more scary design, so having a more realistic one is nice for a change. So overall, I think this is a fantastic Scarecrow prop, and probably, again, my favorite from Spirit for this year. Unfortunately, we don't know the price, which is just a shame. I'm sure it's going to be very expensive, though. I'm guessing it's going to be either $300 or maybe $280, which is way out of my price range, so I won't be picking him up, unfortunately, but he still is my favorite from Spirit this year. So, there he is. He's like an 8.5 out of 10 prop, in my opinion. Now for my second favorite prop from Spirit Halloween this year, being the Widow, which is an extremely dark and scary animatronic in my opinion. I love this thing. So I think the best two things here are easily her animation, of course, and her face. I'll start with her face. That is one extremely detailed and realistic face. I'm almost certain this is a Crazy Crate prop. That's basically confirmed. It is. I think it looks awesome. I love the face she has on her. It is super scary. I love it. I think it is awesome. And her animation, of course, being kind of a jump scare. I feel like people aren't expecting it since it happens like instantly. I could definitely see that being a jump scare. And even though it's not lurching forward or anything, again, it still can be a jump scare. I think it will still spook some people walking by and activating it. So I think that is a great jump scare, the neck snap. It looks so cool. It's so dark as well. Her audio as well is also matches up perfectly and makes it such a creepy, demonic, and dark prop. Very scary for Spirit Halloween standards these days. Even though it is lacking some gore, I don't really feel like it needs it all too much. But that being said, her dress is really bland, just being all black. She looks very similar to Demonic Dahlia as well, though I do think she looks better and is a better prop. I just think she could use a little bit more detail in her dress. I mean, she does have the necklace, which is an interesting detail, but still doesn't add too much to the prop. And the thing I don't like about this prop very much is her hands. I'm pretty sure those are literally just the same mold that they use for Mr. Howell's hands, except smaller. I mean, they look like the exact same shape. I could be wrong, though. But really, I do think it looks like Mr. Howell's hands a lot. I'm pretty sure that is the same mold. But still, this is a fantastic prop by all means. I love this thing. It is great. Unfortunately, it is an online only, which I mean is kind of expected since today's standards by Spirit, they would never put this thing in stores, which is just such a shame. But anyways, this is an awesome prop.
Excellent day for an exorcism. It would bring us together. You and us.
Here's my next favorite prop, being Regan from The Exorcist. I think this is an incredible recreation of how Regan looks from the actual movie, and I just think it is a really cool prop overall. All things considered, this is a great licensed character. So starting off with the accuracy, the screen accuracy of the actual character from the movie to the prop, I think they did a spot-on job with the detail in the face. It looks incredible. One thing I can always commend Crazy Cray for is the face detailing. I'm pretty sure this is a Crazy Cray prop, and I just think it looks incredible. Really, the face looks awesome on this thing. Now, everything else about the prop, and besides this screen accurate design, everything else about the prop, I think it's kind of lacking, being the animation, the audio, and I guess the projector, but really, I think the projector is a cool feature. It's not really too needed, but I still think it makes the prop even better than it is. I do like the projector a lot. That is a positive for the prop for sure. But everything else about the prop, other than, again, its screen accuracy and the projector, it's just kind of lacking. For one, the phrases I think are interesting, but I really wish they just used lines from the movie here. I don't know why they had to get a whole new voice actor to provide new lines for Regan here. I mean, she's doing a voice impression of Regan the girl, even though when she's possessed, she has the voice of Pazuzu, which is the demon in the projector light, which is, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about here. I really don't think it sounds too good, the phrase. I like the line she says, but I really wish they just straight up used the lines from the movies. And the animation, I mean, it's all what we expected. She does spin her head around, which is the famous thing that she does in the movie. I think it's fine enough. I kind of wish she had mouth animation, though. I think that would have definitely improved the prop. And she is $280, which is a complete ripoff. All you're getting here is basically one motor that turns the head and a projector. Sure, I do think the design and the detailing is incredible, but other than that, there's no way this thing is worth $280. $200 maximum for this thing. Anyways, I just think it kind of sucks she's priced this high, but I still think she's an awesome prop and super screen accurate to one of my favorite movies of all time, being The Exorcist.
Little monsters have been carving up my friends for years. Now it's my turn to make a jack-o'-lantern. From your head! Ah ha ha! Ah ha 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 ha!
Now here is where stuff goes downhill quick for me here. I'm about to get really negative about everything going forward, unfortunately. I'm just so sad Spirit Halloween, in my opinion at least, is this bad this year. Something I never thought we would be saying about the company, but this has to be one of the worst years, but I'm getting off track. Here is Possessed Pumpkin, one I was really looking forward to, but unfortunately after seeing what he does and what he says, this prop is ruined for me. I think the design of the head is awesome. I really do love how it looks. I think it does look very menacing and scary, along with the claws and everything. But the clothes are so bland. I hate the clothes they gave him. I think he should have just had like a bunch of creepy cloth and maybe like a rooted body, a root print on him, very similar to Pumpkin Patch Prowler. I think if they did it like that, this prop would have been so much better, but the clothes suck on this guy. I hate the outfit they put him in, but the clothes are not even half as bad as his phrases. Holy shit, I don't think Spirit Halloween could have had phrases worse than Johnny Punk's, but here it is, folks. This is somehow even worse. It completely destroys the prop for me. Let's say he just had gargling and maybe growling sounds. I would have liked this prop a lot better than I do now, but the phrases completely destroyed. They're so goofy, so kid-friendly, so silly sounding. I despise them. The voice acting sucks. The writing sucks for them. It cannot be this hard to make good phrases for a prop, but Spirit Halloween manages to F it up every single time. I don't get it. Besides, Pumpkin has just been completely ruined for me by the phrases, and I'm just so sorry to say that, guys. I know this prop has its fans, and I was really looking forward to this prop, but I'm going to be honest, it sucks. Just because of the phrases, and the clothes too. The clothes also suck, but the prop was basically completely ruined for me. I think he's like a 4.5 out of 10 now. And that being said, all the props left now are going to be under a 4.5 out of 10, which is pretty bad. So just remember, these are my opinions, guys. I know there are a lot of props in here that people are a fan of, but I really am not liking the props this year. All right, you know what? Maybe he's like a 5 out of 10, but still not good at all. Next up, we have Deadly Creeper, and now I know there's going to be a lot of people hating on me for liking this a lot more than some of the other props. I mean, I don't like it that much. It's just a spider that has a little bit of animation to it, which I mean, there's not too much to hate on here since it does what it sets out to accomplish, being a simple giant spider with some moving arms. It's a simple filler prop that I think works well. I just don't really like how fuzzy the spider is, but I mean, it still looks okay. I do like how the eyes light up, though. That is another nice detail that we don't see too often for spiders. And the arms moving, I think, also work pretty well, too. It's not as, like, important, but I think it's still, the animation is still nice. I don't know how much it's going to be priced at. If it's probably going to be like $70, which I think is way overpriced. This thing should be $50, maybe even $40 max. But still, I think it is a decent prop for what you're getting here, and I do like it. I mean, there's not too much to hate on here because it is a simple spider prop. Again, it does what it sets out to accomplish, and I think it does it pretty well.
Careful where you're going. I'm trying to sanitize this place first. When I'm done, nothing's gonna be left living. Oh, it makes your eyes water.
Alright, and here we have Nozzles, what Spirit probably thinks is going to be their most popular and cool character, I guess you could say, this year. But I really think they're overestimating how many people care about clowns anymore and how good this prop actually is. Because let me tell you, I really don't think this thing is good. It's unique, yes, but unique doesn't always mean good. I mean, there are good props that are simple, but of course, I always love the unique stuff, and unique clowns are needed constantly if they want to make new clown animatronics. So I can't hate on it too much for the concept and idea here. I think it works well. I do like how he sprays the fog out of both of his nozzle hands. I think it looks good. But here's the thing, the color scheme for the clothes are not that great, and his head and his face and the lack of mouth animation ruined the prop for me. I'm not going to hate on the phrases too much either because I kind of like the voice for him. I don't think it's bad, but I am not impressed with the head for the most part. That is my biggest problem with the prop here. So I'll start off with his color scheme though. I really thought it was going to be a bright yellow and like green color scheme. I don't really like how they put blue as his ruffles though. I think that it just does not look good. It doesn't match well. I think having just another bright green color there would have looked great. So I don't know why they made that his color scheme. It just does not look good in my opinion. It's what I was expecting from the leak photos, but I guess, like, it's really hard to see the colors from those, unfortunately, but still, I'm just really disappointed by his color scheme. But my biggest problem is the lack of mouth animation. I think it looks stupid just having him without any mouth animation. His head definitely looks like it's plastic, so this isn't like a broken model or anything. This is what we're getting. There's no mouth animation for this dude, which sucks in my opinion. I just am so mad about that. Considering they're charging $350 for him, there's no way people are going to willingly buy this year, considering how much he is for doing so little. Everyone was expecting mouth animation. We thought that was just going to be a given for this prop, but no, we can't even have that. And also the face itself, I literally think the mask they released of him looks better. I don't know what happened. The mold looks so ugly here. It just does not look good. I really don't know what happened with Nozzles, guys. I just do not like this dude.
Like collecting things? Can I show you my collection? I love cooking. Mommy lets me do all the chopping. My sister used to be Mommy's favorite, but I took care of that.
Next up, we have Betty Sharpe, and I really don't think she looks that great. I think her face is kind of creepy, but it's not the typical fantastic detailing and realism we typically see with Crazy Crate props. It does look kind of cartoony a little bit, and it just looks unnatural. It looks uncanny, which I think works out in the prop's favor, though. So, you know, I do kind of like the face. It does look uncanny, but at the same time, some people might find it a little silly looking, so I don't know. I think the uncanniness of it, though, does look quite nice. And I feel like this is basically Mommy's favorite done properly. So in the lore, she is supposed to be Mommy's favorite sister, as you could tell from the line there. And I do think she is 10 times better than Mommy's favorite. This, again, Mommy's favorite done right. And what I don't understand is why does she get covered in blood? Yet there are so many other props that actually need it, like the Butcher from 2020 and like just a few other props in the previous years and this year too, that just have no blood on them. So I don't understand why she's the exception here. It doesn't make much sense to me. But other than that, I literally thought she was ecstatic the first time I saw her video. The bag moving is cool, but I mean, it's so unnoticeable. She's lacking so much animation here. She should have arm movement where she has the knife. She should probably even have side-to-side movement too. Considering they're charging $180 for her, which is outrageous, for basically a 3-foot standing statue. I don't understand how they think that's a reasonable price at all. Considering all she does, there's only a little bit of moving in the bag, I think she should be $100 maximum. So I really don't understand this. But I still think she is, for all things considered, just a really meh prop. Probably like a 3 out of 10 in my opinion. Maybe a 3.5 out of 10. But I don't know. I don't think she is all too great. I do think she is still way better than Mommy's favorite. So much better than her. But still could have used for some better... I don't know, better anything, really. She could have been better. I think the phrases aren't awful either. You know, maybe a 3.5 out of 10 is a little harsh. I think a 4 out of 10 is more fitting for her, but still not a good prop in my opinion.
Through the dark woods and into the night. Ha! I'm coming for you to give you a fright. Da 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 da.
Now, I know there's a lot of people saying this is just as bad as young Crouchy, but really, I don't think it even comes close, but it is still a bad prop. This is the new little Skelly Bones. Now, there is so much done wrong about this prop. For one, this should have not been a little Skelly Bones remake. I think there are a lot of other props. If they did want to turn this, use this module for a remake, there are so many other great props they could have used. I think Cemetery Angel would have been a perfect one, and just a few others I think would have been great as well. Really, I think Cemetery Angel with this animation would be awesome, though. Like, let's be real here. He's already in that position, so I think if you just add the jump scare, that would be awesome. But anyways, we can't just fantasize about what we could have had. So here is the little Skelly Bones, and it is not good. The phrases are just terrible. Like, there's no way putting it about it. I think the writing is fine if you want him to sing a little rhyme or whatever, but the voice acting is horrendous on this thing. Like, it is truly, well and truly terrible. It's not the original voice actor they had for Little Skelly Bones. I didn't even like the original Little Skelly Bones all that much, but still, I don't think this is a good return at all, even though it's a new thing. The thing I do like about it a lot, though, is the jump scare animation. I think it is really cool and could work for a lot of different props. It's just not, this was just not the right prop to remake and turn into this, in my opinion. I think maybe even like I said, Cemetery Angel or some sort of zombie prop could have been cool. Even something like Lunging Lily remake with this module would have also been awesome, in my opinion. I don't think Little Skelly Bones was the right prop to turn into this. So overall, it's like a 3.5 out of 10 prop, maybe just a 3 even. Just really not liking this at all. I just wish we could have had the same module used on something else. Next up, we have Tombstone Tower, which I just think is a pretty bad prop, but let me tell you why I like it better than some of the other stuff this year. For one, I do think it is a lot better than Bag of Bones, simply because it is standing behind a tombstone, and I do like how the tombstone looks a lot. Actually, it is nicely detailed. The thing that completely and utterly destroys this prop for me is the skull they use. It looks so small. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same exact size for those cheap, crappy little skulls you could buy at the Dollar Tree. So that is basically what ruins this prop. If they used a bigger skull and maybe a small portion of the skeleton torso, I think it could have been turned out to be a pretty cool prop, but that head is just way too small for anything cool. I don't even think it'll be that good of a jump scare. I do like how it has light up eyes, though. That is a neat touch. And it being under $100, I'm not sure what the price is. I think it might be $80 or $90, which is still way overpriced. Again, I think this thing should be like $50 maximum, but still, I don't think it is that good. Better than Bag of Bones for sure, though. And I don't know. I don't think it'll end up being a good jump scare either.
I have a secret. Come closer and I'll tell you. Closer. Closer.
I know there are going to be a ton of people who are pissed off at me for hating on Mr. Punchy, but you will not change my mind. I do think he is a terrible prop. I'll get into the good. I'll start with the good before I really do my full-blown rant on him. I think the face on this guy is awesome. It looks kind of creepy, but also cool at the same time, and I do like the wiring effect they use. I think that is actually a really cool idea, and finally nice to see it on an animatronic instead of just masks. They've been using it in like the Purge masks for years now, so it is finally nice to see it on an actual animatronic, and it looks really good here. Other than that, everything else sucks about this animatronic. I hate why he's an inflatable. It looks so stupid and dumb. Oh my god. I don't know why or who thought that was a good idea to design him like this. It literally looks like he's pregnant. I don't understand it. His animation is also just terrible. Like, I thought, from what people were saying, he's going to have some really unique and interesting animation. He just has the tilting animation we already have on like 3 different props this year. So, not impressed at all by that. The design of his clothes are not that great either, in my opinion. I mean, they're not the worst, but they're definitely not the best. The light-up effect inside the ball also sucks, in my opinion. And the phrases sound like they were made for a completely different prop. But regardless, they would have sucked anyways. It really sounds like they were planning for the phrases to be used for a jump scare prop, because he does the scream and stuff, and nothing happens. It's just the same animation. So I really don't know what that was intended for originally, or even if it was intended for something originally, but it has to, right? Like, I'm thinking it definitely has to be for something, or had to be for something else, but whatever that was, it got scrapped, and they decided, hey, let's just throw the phrases on this guy instead. I don't know. I think it is just really dumb sounding. The phrases are terrible too, even though they were supposed to be for something else. I still think they're bad regardless. But anyways, Mr. Punchy, just a terrible, terrible prop in my opinion. 2 out of 10 at best. And now for the worst prop of the year, and probably one of the worst Spirit Halloween props of all time, young Crouchy. This thing is just terrible. I'm not going to go too in-depth with why I hate it, as I've already done that in multiple videos now. And, I mean, what's really to say that hasn't been said already, other than this is the most lazy Spirit Halloween has ever been. The prop itself sucks, and they didn't change up anything besides shrinking him down, which ruins the idea of Crouchy and what made Crouchy so cool, and giving him light up eyes, which really adds nothing to the prop anyways. It is just such a miserable and terrible prop. We were all thinking they were going to give him his prototype audio, since that was a higher pitched voice and would have made more sense for a younger version of Crouchy, but no, they can't even bother to do that. This prop is just terrible all around. I would give it negatives if that made sense, but it doesn't. So 0 out of 10 in my opinion. It does not get much worse than this from Spirit Halloween. I don't understand what the idea behind this was. This is one of the worst props you could shrink down and make into a smaller prop. It doesn't make any sense. The whole idea, the whole thing that made Crouchy originally so cool was his gigantic stature. And making a small version of that makes just no sense to anybody. I don't understand how this thing was even an idea in the first place. It doesn't not make sense to me. So overall, just a terrible, terrible, terrible prop. What I think they could have done to make this prop at least somewhat serviceable is give him mouth animation, give him servo motors in the head, and just give him some really cool animation. Change it up a little bit. Also change his face mold to make him look a little bit younger, because it's literally the same exact face mold, just shrunken down again. So really just terrible. They could have done some stuff to make this prop a little bit better and make it more an actual young version of Crouchy, which I think many people would have liked if they didn't take the lazy route and just make just a carbon copy but smaller. So I don't know. The worst prop of the year, 100%. I hate this thing along with many other people. So yeah, there it is. Young Crouchy sucks. Alright everybody, and that does it for the rest of the Spirit Halloween 2022 lineup. There are a few online onlys that still have yet to be shown off yet, so I'll be looking forward to seeing those, and I will be covering them when they come out. But as for now, this is a majority of everything completed. All the in-store stuff has been revealed already, and this is pretty much it for one of Spirit Halloween's worst years ever, in my opinion. I really don't know what happened this year. Between the prices, the prop sucking, and just everything about this year for Spirit is just so awful. I just don't get it. The only thing we really have left to look forward to is the theme, and I do like it though. I think the theme is going to end up being really awesome, but still, I'm just hating the props this year so much. They are not good. I really don't know what happened. Be sure to check out my other video on the first 5 that got revealed, being Monty, Lord Raven, Bog Zombie, Bag of Bones, and Lucky Bottoms, since some of those are better and worse than what was shown today. But that's about it, everybody, so thank you so much for watching. And as always, this is the Pixelated Pumpkin signing out.